Hey guys, let's talk about your benefits from 10, 20, 30, all the way up to 40%. Stick around. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Lee with 1E, and welcome to the Warrior's Edge channel. Again, the purpose of our channel is to provide guidance, motivation, and education to the benefits that you, a former member of the United States Armed Forces, are entitled to. Again, as usual, my name is Leon Nubla. I am a recently retired law enforcement officer, a veteran of the United States Army, and a 100% rated disabled vet. And in today's episode, I want to cover your benefits and the advantages of having different rating levels from a 10% to a 20 to a 30 all the way up to a 40% rating level at at your compensation level. Okay, the reason why I actually bundled this whole group together is because there's very little additions from one level to the next, with the exception of a really big benefit advantage that you get at a 30% level, which I'm excited to tell you guys about in a few. Okay, so before we get started, let's do some housekeeping stuff real quick, and let me explain what a priority group is. Okay, because we're going to mention it throughout this whole episode. And what it is basically is that the VA assigns priority groups to help with demand for VA services, right? So basically, the more need a person has, the more the VA can prioritize the urgency of the care that they can provide for this particular individual. Okay, again, how the VA assigns priority groups is that the way they formulate it is they look at a couple things, and that's kind of the way they place us in a respective priority group. And those things are basically they look at your military service and history. They do look at your disability rating and what level you're in, of course. Now they also look at your income, and they also look at whether you qualify for Medicaid and if you're on a VA pension program. Okay, and so all those things in combination is what they use to designate what priority group you belong to. Now, that being said, the VA can actually change, what priority group you belong to based on two things. One of them is your income. So if you all of a sudden, have a better income, then they might drop you to a different priority group. Now, again, I haven't met anyone that actually happened to, but again, they can based on their rules, right? Or if you actually, if your income decreases, and they also can improve your priority group level, right, by leveling you up to a different group. Okay, and of course, the obvious is as your disability gets worse, which most of ours do, they can bump you up to a different priority group. One of the best things that the VA did, though, in terms of being fair, is that for each one of our disabilities, we get assigned a different priority group, right? If you have multiple different priority groups, they will place you at the highest priority group that you earned. And so if you got a bunch of, lower rating disabilities and you have one that's pretty major and that belongs to a higher priority group, they place you in that particular priority group. Okay. So that's that for priority groups. Let's get into the main topic. Let's get into your advantages of being a 10% rated disabled veteran. Okay. So at this point, at the 0% level, if you guys watched our last episode, you only could get at a 0% level. You can only get medical care for a particular condition that you were rated a disability for. But now, at a 10% level, you can get medical care for all types of conditions. So now, no longer are you limited to the particular disability that you're getting compensated for. But now, if you're feeling ill or you just need to see a doctor for a particular reason, you can, because at a 10% level, you're afforded that particular benefit. All right, so that's really good improvement there. Number two is that you are enrolled in priority group 3. Okay, again, that there's advantages to being on that level. So now you're at 10% enrolled in priority group 3. Number 3, the advantage of being in 10% is now you're actually going to be able to get both visual and hearing benefits. So you can actually get medical attention for declining vision and declining hearing. And like with most of us, are exposed through small arms or heavy arms fire, machinery, and just the chaos of being in the military, that we lose hearing at different levels, and most of us, if not all of us, have ringing, which is tinnitus or tinnitus, depending on how you say it, right? Matter of fact, now that we just mentioned it, I can just hear it, right? But you can get that taken care of now, and as that progresses, or maybe if you can, somehow find a way to improve it, and then you have some sort of vision or hearing problems, you can get that taken care of. Okay, so at 10%, you do get vision and hearing. Okay, another great advantage is that now when you purchase your home, for your next home, or if you're actually purchasing a home now, you can get the lender's funding fee exemption, which could mean a couple $100 to a couple $1,000. That's it's a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 that you don't have to have at the closing table. That's more money back into your pocket for whatever use you can have with it after buying your home. Whether it's to furnish it, or to maybe make improvements, or whatever it is, or to keep it. Right? It's extra money that you can keep in your pocket, because now you no longer have to do or have to pay for home loan funding fees through the VA. Okay, to that particular benefit. And finally, as a 10%er, you can get federal parks permits. So basically, you can get to any federal parks for free. At this point, it's just yourself. So if you are with a party, at least you can cover your admission into any federal park in the nation. Okay, so that is 10%. So now let's get into the 20%. So for 20%, it's just really one major change from 10 to 20. And of course, you're still enrolled in priority group 3 at this point at 20%. But the biggest change is that now you qualify for the Voc Rehab program, or the Vocational Rehab program. And I personally have experience in utilizing the Voc Rehab program, because when I got out in '98, I was in what they called the GI. I'm sorry, we were most of us have the GI Bill, but I was in what they call the Montgomery GI Bill program, which is way different than the current post 9/11 GI Bill, where the Montgomery had a ceiling of benefit, and so depending on your how many years you signed up for, what job you took, at the beginning of you signing up for your branch of service, you were given a ceiling for your GI Bill benefit. And for me, it was at $28,000 at the time, and I believe I've exhausted that amount when pursuing and after getting my associates. And at that point, my benefits were done. And so when I switched careers from finance to law enforcement, had no GI Bill to pay for it, applied for the Voc Rehab, got approved, and they actually paid for the whole program, for the books and materials and tools that I needed to make it through that particular program, and as well as the paying for the program itself. And again, so I owe it to the Voc Rehab program to have gotten me into and paying for the State Police Academy that I got into at the time. So great advantage. So that is your 10 and 20% benefits. Now let's get into this really nice jump from 20 to 30%, which I'm really excited to tell you guys about. And at this point, at 30%, you can now actually collect an allowance for your spouse and dependent children, or spouse and children, right? And so at this point, you can receive an allowance. Your monetary compensation becomes just a little bit better, because now you can actually include your spouse and your dependent children in being able to collect a higher monetary compensation, which is really nice. Okay, again, the benefit goes far beyond just the monetary compensation that we get, because we do get the healthcare and everything else that comes with each level of rating. But it's actually pretty nice to get a little bit more, in your pocket every month, because you're now at a particular level, which is, you break in that level at 30%. Okay, so now, you're actually at 30 and 40%. You're now going to be enrolled in priority group 2. So they just leveled you up into a different priority, a higher priority, to which if you needed care, you can get in front of the line of most others with lesser severity and with their conditions. Okay. Number 3, Again, it's basically everything else that we covered. So at this point at 30 and 40, you get all the advantages of everything that you got from from the 20 and 10 and 0% ratings, right? Which is medical care for all types of conditions. Of course, audio and hearing, medical care and attention. Mileage reimbursement, again, to and from the medical facilities that you're going to be traveling from. You also get the exemption for home loan funding, which is again a couple hundred to a couple $1,000s. So please make sure to let your realtor know if you're not going with a VA loan, or if you are going with a VA loan, they should be able to tell you that you are qualified for that particular benefit. Okay. Federal parks permit, again, you get into any federal park for free. Just show your VA card, or if you're the type that carries your 214 around, go ahead and show that to them. Civil service preference, again, you get a 10-point federal civil service boost with your test in any application for any particular federal position. And for states, again, they do it differently. For my state, they actually give you a 15% bump. I'm sorry, not 15%, a 15-point bump in your test to be able to be competitive, which again could mean either you don't go forward or you progress in the hiring process. Okay, my phone just fell. So yeah, take advantage of that. Make sure that you fill out that particular piece of paper once you're applying for any kind of state municipal job for and be able to utilize this particular advantage or benefit at least. Okay, also with your federal positions as well. So you also qualify for SDVI. Again, everything from 40 on down to 0 gets you qualified for service disabled veterans insurance, which is again really great. They offer really great coverage for the premiums. So the premiums are relatively low, and the benefit that you get in return are actually pretty competitive. I mean, they're better, at least on my perspective, than a lot of other private insurance companies that offer life insurance. Okay, and then again for the final and best, I think one of the best benefits that you get, especially if you're a family person, a family woman, or family man, is that your children can now qualify for state fee waivers, so for state tuition fee waivers. Okay, so if your child qualifies for admission to a particular state or university, again, different states do it differently, but for my state, it's a full fee waiver to that particular institution once they are admitted to it. Okay, so free college for kids, for your children. Again, one less thing you have to worry about, one less burden that you don't have to set your too much money aside for. And again, a great benefit to have. All right, guys. So that covers everything from 40 to 30 to 20 to 10 on down. And so I hope you guys found this particular episode valuable, or if you know somebody that could, please go ahead and share our link below. Please do help support our channel by liking, subscribing, and hitting that like button and that bell button as well for future episodes. Again, till next time, I want you guys to be kind to yourselves, okay? Take action, create, and inspire others. It's your boy Lee, and I'm out. See you guys later.